New tonight, the Trump administration about to ask Congress for $1 billion for the border wall, a source telling CNN as it's a, quote, down payment. Now, of course, the price tag that's been put on this is anywhere from $15 to $25 billion, so that is indeed a mere down payment. It comes as immigration officials continue to round up immigrants that are here illegally. And tonight, in a story you'll see only on Outfront, our Rosa Flores spent the day with an undocumented immigrant who we've been following on this program. A mother who's been in this country for 18 years is now being ordered, as of tonight, to buy a one-way ticket back to Mexico.
Lino is physically ill hours before she checks in with her immigration officer, fighting back tears at breakfast.
She says that her biggest fear is that her daughter is going to get sick if she gets deported.
The mother of 4 U.S.-born children has been showing up for regular check-ins with ICE for 12 years. But this is the first since Donald Trump has been in office.
I feel a little anxious, but very confident.
She says that she has faith.
While her entire family is in the U.S. legally, she is not. Francisca says she tried to use a fake visa nearly 20 years ago to enter the United States. When she later applied for a green card and her previous use of a phony document was discovered, she was detained. Memories of the moment cripple her mother-in-law. Francisca was released after 28 days under the condition that she check in with ICE regularly, a requirement for some low-risk immigrants. As she and her family make the 90-minute drive to downtown Chicago, the tension is rising. Her pastor waiting with a warning.
They're acting very aggressive and out of character.
Security guards ask us to turn off our cameras as Francisca walks inside with her attorney. About an hour later, she emerges with a glowing smile after being told she can stay 1 more year. But moments later,
they're calling her back in. Why?
Confusion, then fear as ICE calls her back inside.
Has this ever happened before?
No, never. But we'll see. I think I'll be fine.
Fighting back tears, Francisca walks into the federal building again.
I couldn't breathe. I was choked up. I couldn't talk at all.
In a stunning turn, ICE tells her she is in fact being deported in July and must return to the ICE office with a ticket back to Mexico.
And they call us back up and just say, oh no, you have a few months or something. It's not fair.
Francisca's attorney says this is why undocumented immigrants are living in fear of President Trump's policies.
Under Obama, this wouldn't have happened. Yeah, we would have, because this was the whole point of Obama's policy was discretion. You know, she's clearly not a danger to the community.
Now, CNN reached out to ICE, and the agency says that it's looking into Francisca's case. Meanwhile, Francisca says that she came out of the shadows to show her face, to share her name, to show the world that she is indeed not a threat to this community, and far from it, Aaron. She's a mom who's at this point hoping that a miracle will keep her family intact. Aaron.
All right, Rosa, thank you. Out front now, Jeff DeWitt, Arizona State Treasurer, and Kevin DeLeon, the California Senate leader and a Democrat. Thanks to you both. Kevin, Francisca is here illegally. Obviously, though, she's been allowed to stay, as you saw, checking in with her ICE agent for 12 years. You saw the moment today. She thought she could check in, and they would say come back in a year, as they have all those other years. They called her back. No, she has to return in July with a one-way ticket to Mexico and leave her 4 children behind. What's your reaction?
Well, Aaron, I can tell you that it's astonishing. It's quite shocking because here you have a mother of 4 American-born children who's been in this nation, who's been part of this nation for more than 18 years, who's part of our workforce. And she has been checking in with ICE, with federal agents, very honestly, very transparently, crossing her T's, dotting her I's, and through some chicanery. We don't know why, but now she is being asked to leave the country within a few months, in July. And I can tell you this, that, you know, President Trump campaigned during the past year on deporting the most hardened criminals, violent criminal felons. I doubt highly that Francisca is a hardened criminal. In fact, she's part of our workforce. So this is quite astonishing. And this is why there's so much fear, there's so much panic, there's so much anxiety, especially among children, not just in Chicago or Illinois, but throughout the entire country. And I can tell you this, that President Trump is succeeding. by sending shock and awe, or by sowing the seeds of fear and anxiety and panic.
Jeff, what do you say?
Well, I say we are a nation of laws, and no one likes to see situations where people are separated or, removed to the country where they're from. But again, we are a nation of laws, and I think one of the real crimes here is that the federal government waited so long to enforce the laws that are on the book, making this so much more difficult for her. But again, we have to enforce the laws that are on the book, and by not doing so, we're asking American taxpayers to foot an enormous bill by not enforcing those laws. So let's remember that the president is in the executive branch. They carry out the laws. And what I say to everyone that is unhappy with these things is go call your congressman and change the laws. That's always something that can be done. But to ask ICE or the president or anyone else not to enforce the laws is going about it in the wrong way. We have to enforce the laws on the books. These situations arise, and if someone's unhappy about them, the laws, they can obviously go and do what they can to change the laws.
To enforce for some, but not for others. I mean, Kevin, here's the thing. Francisca did commit a crime in the sense of she came into this country illegally. She used a fake visa. She hasn't become a citizen in the 18 years she's here. That's, I guess, the point Jeff is making. Why is that okay for anyone? When you use the word discretion, that by definition means some people are going to get the good end of the stick and some are going to get the bad. How is that ever fair?
Well, Erin, I understand the perspective that John has with regards to we are a nation of laws. We have the right to protect our own sovereignty. There's no debate, there's no dispute about that. But the reality is that Francisca has been a part of this nation for 18 years. She is part of our workforce. And for the last 18 years, the Congress have yet to do their job by securing a comprehensive immigration reform package, which supposedly Francisca would have benefited from. The fact that we have millions of hard workers who are part of our workforce, law-abiding, tax-paying residents of the United States of America who have yet to normalize their situation. Now, if you want to remove individuals who are violent criminals, we all agree with that. Go ahead and do it sooner rather than later. But when you have individuals who are part of our fabric of this great nation, this is quite un-American. And I can tell you this, I asked the question, where did conservative compassion go? I don't know if it came and went with George W. Bush. But this is not the America that I know.
So, Jeff, from your side of this, she did the right thing. She came and showed up, despite the political climate that she's in, she showed up for her meeting with her ICE agent, right? Her annual meeting. And I know it may sound bizarre to people that these things happen and they let you go even though you're here illegally. I mean, the whole thing is broken and confusing. But then they gave her this news that she has to leave and leave her children. If immigration officials turn these routine visits into deportation meetings, isn't this just going to mean more people don't show up for them and more people go into the shadows?
Well, let's remember that she had committed a financial crime previously. And so when the legislation is there to prioritize those who've committed crimes, she fell under that. And there's no way around that. So, as much as you may call that an unfortunate situation, illegal immigrants are stealing identities of U.S. taxpayers and are causing enormous financial burdens for those which they do that to. So, for every situation like that, I think about a Kate Steinle who died in her father's arms with her last words being, "Help me, Dad." And as a dad of 3 daughters, those are the situations that I think of when she was killed by an illegal immigrant in a sanctuary city that should have been deported and wasn't because those federal laws were not enforced. So I'm very happy that we have a president who's standing up for the American people to enforce the laws on the books.
All right, we're going to hit pause there. Thank you both very much tonight. And of course, we'll have you back as we do again and again as this issue continues. Up front next, the U.S. deploys a missile